welcome back. You're watching ENCA Newslink with Tapfuma Makina and Annika Larsen, and we're staying on those violent visuals that we're seeing in several parts of the country. In the meantime, the Constitutional Court application by Jacob Zuma for the rescission of a judgment handed down last week is currently being heard and is streaming on enca.com. But the big question remains, will President Cyril Ramaphosa pardon his predecessor or let Jacob Zuma serve out his time in prison? Well, Reverend Frank Chikane previously told us that Zuma should get pardoned if he applies for it, but he also believes such processes aren't easy when it comes to politics. As the second round of his Constitutional Court case gets underway, we're asking, what type of message would a pardon of Zuma send to the rest of the country? Well, we hope Freedom Under Law's Nicole Fritz can help us answer this. She joins us now live. Nicole, thanks very much for your time. The test for a pardon, would Jacob Zuma qualify, considering he still has his corruption case that's got to be heard on July the 19th?
Well, there are no sort of strict requirements for a pardon. I mean, the pardon can't be given in respect of offences for which convictions have not been obtained. So we're not talking about, other possible prosecutions that are faced by former President Zuma. A pardon that might be conceivable is for the offence of contempt of the Constitutional Court. It is a prerogative, a power that is granted the president in terms of Section 84 of our Constitution. And as I say, there are not, particularly strict requirements that govern how that pardon is to be exercised if and when such power is exercised by the president. It must pass tests of sort of rationality under the principle of legality, but other than that, it is seen as a power that lies at the discretion of the president.
Nicole, what sort of message does a pardon send out? I'm not talking in particular about Jacob Zuma, but in general, when a president all over the world, they've got the prerogative to pardon people. What is it saying? Does it saying what you did is okay, or we're just going to forget about it and move on?
Well, I think the way in which pardons are generally exercised and utilized is this idea of extending mercy to the person who has been convicted. Sorry, my son's just walked in. Out.
That is totally fine, because we are so used to that. This is what lockdown broadcasting is about. You can let your son play around in the background. Don't worry. We understand.
Sorry, he's coming to hold me responsible for his maths homework. No, that a pardon is generally extended when one is feeling merciful. And not necessarily as a mother towards her son, but the idea, the message sent is not that the conduct is excusable, but that the circumstances warrant mercy or clemency, and it is an extraordinary and exceptional act that is undertaken by the executive. I do think that the circumstances which are obtaining now, I mean, there may be reasons which would argue for the president showing such clemency, such mercy, but I do worry that the lawlessness, the kind of thuggery that we see obtaining at the moment, would generate perverse incentives. Were a pardon to be granted, it would be seen as a capitulation to the worst elements of criminality and lawlessness in our society, and obviously it would, send out a message to those who offend the law that if you have sufficient support and supporters willing to break the law, to threaten violence and disorder, to threaten the lives of ordinary peace-loving South Africans, that you will then win a pardon. And obviously that would be a very dangerous message to send, and it would, arguably defeat law and order, rule of law and constitutionalism.
Nicole, Fritz, thank you from Freedom Under Law. Go and see to your son's homework. I know what that's like. It's very important. Thank you for joining us.